Yep, we bought another one, guys. What's up, fam? Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're gonna make a paint booth. We already went and did all of our shopping. We have this 10 by 100 4mm plastic sheeting, which hopefully will be sufficient. This was the affordable option. This whole roll was about like 50 bucks, I think. I think it was like 43 plus tax. All right, you guys, so the car probably looks a lot different than it did last time y'all seen it. Basically, it's red now. Just the engine bay. I had a little bit of paint left over from the spoilers from Leo's wings that I painted. So I reduced it and I did a mist coat into the engine bay. Basically, just to see how the paint will react to the primer to make sure everything's gonna stick and everything's gonna be good. It was a light coat and it's already been wet sand. It was wet sanded immediately and it's already been sanded again. This is ready for another coat. And the rest of the car, as you guys have seen it, is covered in primer. It could use another coat, mainly on these areas because I went a little too thin and wet sanding went right through it. But that's what we're gonna be doing today. The paint booth is almost ready. Oh, but the most important thing that I'm forgetting, the elephant in the room, we bought another EF. This is a 1988 EX sedan. It has rear discs. Unfortunately, it does not have its original front brakes, the EX spindles. It has DA spindles because this was an H-swapped car. It's on some Toyos, but they've been slickified. There is nothing in the engine bay. H-swap pulled out. Leo's almost got the shifter cables pulled out. The reason I bought this car is because I needed a few suspension parts to finish off my car. This car is on Function and Form Type 1s. They're not Type 2s, but for the price, you cannot complain. And we also have that traction bar. If you guys know, if you guys have seen the early videos, I cut off this front radiator support on my car because this thing was just way beyond damage, way beyond repair, way too damaged. This is actually the exact traction bar I wanted from the very beginning. Reason why is because check out how freaking close the radiator tabs get to this specific bar. They're almost touching. Like, what's stopping us from welding these tabs onto this bar and then just saying, what T-bar? But anyways, guys, that's my plan. The car itself, I really wish I could do a build series on it, but this being the situation we're in, I cannot keep the car here. I can't even keep any of these cars here, let alone another one. So I found it a good home. This car is gonna go to wreck. If you guys remember, he has his red sedan on the triangles. He's always wanted an EX. His sedan's an LX, so it has power windows and all the cool stuff, but it doesn't have a sunroof. And he's always wanted one of these. This car needs saving and he has a storage spot for it. So I think he's gonna end up taking it in a couple days. Until then though, we are gonna focus on that car. We're gonna have a whole entire video on this car where I actually go into the story behind it. We tear it down. We take the parts that we're gonna be using on the CRX, but not today. Today we're gonna be spraying that car. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna finish up the paint booth. It's almost finished. I'll walk you guys through it once it's finished. And then we are going to clean this car out and roll it over there into the garage. So let's get started. All right, you guys, so paint booth is pretty much all set up. We have 4 walls. No, we have 3 walls and a curtain. We use these beams, these 2 beams on the sides of the garage, basically as our walls. Don't worry, I can't get a flat tire if I already have flat tires. We pinned plastic up on each wall, and then we use that beam back there to pin plastic against the back of the garage. And then out front, using this emergency release cable on the garage, we made a curtain, and the curtain is functioning. So I'll be able to, oops. So I'll be able to drive my car in here. Well, not drive. I'll be able to push my car in here. We'll be able to close the curtains, and then we will have an enclosed, controlled space to spray in. So let's get the car in here. Really quick though, before moving the car in here, I'm gonna go over the entire body with the orbiter sander. I'm gonna use a 120 pad just to scruff it up a little bit, because you need to prep primer if you don't spray onto it within the period. If you guys do not have one of these, I really highly recommend it. This thing cuts down your prep time by it's like 1/10 of the original time. This thing's so awesome. Saves a lot of time. Well worth the investment. Don't hold it like this. What are you guys doing? They both ran away?
Yeah, another one ran that way.
Oh. Oh well, cats are gone. Anyways, something that I haven't shown you guys is the EM2 dry. This is the finish. It is a little dirty because, well, come on, store them outside. But check that out. Like, there is very little orange peel. It is very, very smooth. I did absolutely nothing to this paint. All I did was spray it, and it came out fantastic. It doesn't have a crazy shine to it. It is not, I wouldn't call it glossy, but it's smooth. It is a smooth, even coat all throughout the entire front end. It is very smooth, very even. There's no like paint blotching. There's no splatters. There's nothing stupid, you know, like the first time we painted an EM2 hood this exact color with this exact paint, it came out okay, but this actually came out good. Like, check that out. Check out the coverage. It's all smooth and it's freaking awesome. And I'm really hoping that I can achieve these results on that car right now. Anywho, car's ready, paint booth is ready. Let's get the car inside. All right, you guys, CRX is in our DIY paint booth. We did put a plastic up on top just to kind of help keep overspray under control. Again, it's not perfect, but you know, it's better than nothing. And you guys might be wondering, where are we gonna get light from? Well, thanks to Lazy Man, we have a light. And this light actually gives out a lot of heat and a lot of light. So it should keep the conditions inside of here suitable for paint, meaning we'll be able to see and the paint will dry because it is very cold this time of year. But that's okay because we're still gonna make progress. And this is about as controlled of an environment as it's gonna get. So we should have some good results, right?
Oh man, it's gonna be pretty.
But first,
it's about that time of the day.
we go get some burritos. So
well, that too. We missed it by 2 minutes.
Oh, it's 4:22, but you all know what that means. 4:22 is 4:22. So, but I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Just went to go grab us some lunch, but what I'm going to be doing in the meantime is prepping the car to be sprayed. We're going to be using Seam Solve. This is a great product. This was recommended by Lazy Man again. Basically what you do is just spray it on the surface you're about to paint, wipe it clean with a microfiber towel, and it will take off all wax, grease, and anything else that can contaminate the paint. It's a cleaner, and pretty much using this ensures that you're gonna have a good contact to your surface. So let's spray down the car with this. wipe it down really quick, get off any dust, any residues, any weird stuff, and we'll be ready to paint. Let's go. All right, welcome back, you guys. We had lunch and I got the car fully prepped with the seam solve. I got a lot of dust out. I've been using the shop vac and microfiber towels to basically pick up any loose dust particles, little primer particles from sanding, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much the car is spotless. You can run your hand down pretty much any piece on the car now and find little to no little dust particles and stuff. That was not the case the first time. We were not able to get the car 100% clean the first time because, as you guys saw, it was sitting in dirt. So how do you get all the dirt out when it's windy and there's dust and dirt underneath and all the holes? And I didn't have my seam solve yet. That was still in the mail. But now we're doing it the right way. We should have much better results. We are going to start spraying now. I'm going to get the compressor going and I'm going to start mixing primer. There's Leo. All right, you guys. So we're having a lot of problems keeping power on, basically with the lamp, with the vacuum sucking all the overspray out, and with the compressor constantly building air pressure. The breaker to this house keeps going off. It's a really old house. It's not able to support that much. But anywho, we've sprayed a tiny bit, and I just want you guys to see the improvement in my spraying technique. Look at how freaking smooth this came out. When Mikey came over and he sprayed my door jambs, this is like almost the same quality. It's still pretty wet in there, but like it's all smooth. It's not all whatchamacallity. It's not all wrinkly. This is good. You guys, it's time. Let's check her out. All right, you guys. So we did a lot yesterday. I ended up spraying the majority of the car. There are some areas that I am going to be respraying, and there is also some areas that need some wet sanding and paint. But yesterday, I ended up spraying the engine bay, and then I kind of just moved over to the door, painted the door. Was very, very, very impressed with the results, and I kind of got excited, and we just went from there. So I am super stoked that this car is finally red, but we're not nearly finished. That was just the first time spraying. That was just a first light coat over the body panels that I did spray. We need to go through, examine everything, check out how the paint bonded to the surface, find any problems, find any imperfections, figure out how to correct them, and hopefully improve, so that way we can spray this car completely and fully, including the interior, and hopefully have it perfect. Let's check out the inside. So I did spray the inside with primer, and look at that. It all bonded. That's really good. So I hardly explained what went on in the last video, or like 2 videos ago, because we went to the runs. What ended up happening, guys, was when we tried to spray outside, we didn't have proper air circulation because, you know, the wind varies. So at some points, air was traveling through the sunroof and out through the hatch. At other points, it was traveling through the doors. Sometimes coming just through the hatch the opposite direction. And basically what was happening was we were getting clouds of overspray that were building up in the car, and then those clouds were eventually settling and becoming a dust, which I didn't notice sprayed over said dust, and because of that the primer never bonded to the surface, and you were able to just basically rub it away. It was just dust. Like basically we just had dust everywhere. But that wasn't the case now because, like I said, we examined the situation, tried to figure out what the hell was going on, and tried to find a solution. Now we need to basically take everything we did and apply that to spraying paint. Paint acts a lot differently. Paint overspray acts a lot differently, or so I've learned from experience, but I have a lot of faith in it. I think we'll be able to spray this entire car today. Let's get going. First, we're gonna take the car outside though, because we wanna see what it looks like in the sun. Well, you guys, here she is. There's orange peel, but we're gonna correct it. There's a lot of good.
There's a lot of good.
It looks awesome. And yeah, I know about that. I already knew that was gonna happen. It's all good. I'm gonna sand this and it's gonna get sprayed a couple more times. Because we have a lot of paint. I guess spraying doesn't use nearly as much as primer. Oh, that came out really smooth. This was actually one of the very last things I painted, was this side. Like it just gets kind of smoother. I messed up down here. I actually do have runoff. I messed up down there. I forgot about that. But at that point, the door is a little thinner, because at that point I started running off because we had less light and less heat on that side. But I guess, I don't know, the paint started building more. I was a little more cramped. We're gonna position the car better. But yeah, I started running off there. That's no big deal. Everything looks freaking awesome. I wanna wet sand the bay. That's cool. And then here's the inside of the car. So you guys already know what that's about to look like. Cool. Let's go eat. Oh yeah, guys. So a little peek from the inside of the paint booth. And a little peek at a whole bunch of red. That's right, you guys. We did it. I did it. Me and Leo did it. We did it. You guys who support me and motivate me to save EFs did it. This is freaking awesome. So two things. We did have a little fender mishap. The base coat of the primer, the very first primer coat, started to react, and I don't know what happened, but it started bubbling up and like it kind of became like putty. It was like it never dried, even though I'm pretty sure it dried, but it never dried, and it started peeling up, and I had to end up sanding it down, and then I sprayed primer on it again, and I had this completely covered, and then it started doing the same thing again. It started like bubbling up. So I'm not sure why that was happening. Originally, I thought that it was because it was so cold outside that the condensation made it wet. But today I sprayed it in the daytime, and I don't know. I didn't have problem with primer up until now, so we got to figure that out. But there's that. And then the second thing is tomorrow we are going to be spraying the trim. As you can see, all of it's masked up. That's still primered. And we are going to be using the good old 39144 seam trim black, industry standard. That is the only thing you should be putting on your trim. But all right, guys, I'm over here staring into the camera, staring into the flash. So we're gonna keep this short. I think my glasses are tinted red. Got that Johnny Depp vibe going right now. Tomorrow, we are going to be spraying all of my trim. We're going to be doing a full trim restoration. My mirrors need to be sprayed as well. We're either going to spray them trim black or we are going to spray them red. I think red. And I'm also going to take off the fenders and I'm going to spray in here because I don't like that kind of stuff. Like that obvious, this car's been resprayed kind of stuff. So all of those little things are going to be sprayed. And this is going to be sprayed, but that pretty much wraps it up for the paint booth. We are no longer going to be needing this since a majority of the car has been sprayed. The only thing remaining to spray are minor things. The front end definitely needs some more coats because, you know, the front end of the car is going to be taking the most damage. But as you guys know, the bodywork is not finished. There's still a lot of imperfections on the car. Like this quarter panel still isn't perfect. And when this is clear coated, you guys will totally freaking see how this is not perfect. And there's just tiny little bits. So anywho guys, again, staring into the camera because that's the only way y'all are gonna see me. But tomorrow, trim black, fix that fender, and continue working on this car. I don't know, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna fully install all of my trim, including the side skirts. We also need to finish the rear bumper, but aside from that, the car is technically finished in the bodywork painting phase. Like I was saying earlier, once the car is running, I am going to keep knocking out things that I don't like, just tiny little imperfections, just making the car more and more and more perfect. But if you guys want to see what's coming up, if you guys want to see the red CRX completed, if you guys want to see an engine in it, we're also going to move on to working on Leo's CRX soon. We're very tired though, so this is going to wrap up the video. But if you guys want to tag along for any of those things, or even if you just like our stupid jokes and shit, like, subscribe, and keep hanging out because I appreciate you guys. Let's save some more EFs.